All right, so you all know I'm an actor. I'm actually technically under contract right now in Lexington. I'm clearly not there right now. They were kind enough to release me to come back here and really took care of me. But it was really hard. This has been a really hard week. On Monday, I stopped by. The last thing I did in Atlanta was I visited Yiayia's bedside, and we were turning her, and she was very uncomfortable. She was very upset. She kept telling us to leave her alone, and it was a really hard way to leave. And so as I was driving back, I was headed up 75, and so I was coming around 285, and I was getting ready to drive past the turnoff to our house, and I called Alexis, and I was like, I need you to tell me not to turn off to our house and just blow this contract off and stay here. And she kind of talked me through it. She was like, you can't do that. You need to go. Yiayia wants you to go. She doesn't want you to sacrifice your life or your career. So I took that turn and started heading north on 75, and I basically just cried for 2 states. I cried through Georgia. I cried through Tennessee. But then something happened when I crossed into the border of Lexington, or the border of Kentucky. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Kentucky. I haven't before. It is beautiful, y'all. There's mountains and rivers, and the road is all windy and curvy, and there are trees, and I'm not really one for nature. That's Alexis. But I felt this feeling of peace when I crossed the border. Finally, I was, after 2 states of tears, I was like, I'm in the right place. I'm doing the right thing, finally. And I felt some peace about it. But that night, I got there, I checked into my townhouse, I unpacked, everything, and my housemates were lovely and very welcoming. I let them know what was going on. They were all very supportive. But I realized that night, as I was getting ready to go to bed, that there are a few things that I wish that I told Yiayia when I had the chance. And so I wrote them down, and I emailed them that night to everybody, and was like, whoever's there, just please read this to her. And so I wanted to share this with you all today so that you could bear witness. Last night was lots of jokes and funny stories and funny memories, but Dad and I have traded. He was serious last night and we were jokesy, and now I'm serious today. And he was jokesy. So this is what I wish that I could have told her in person, and this is what I'm most sorry that I never articulated to her as clearly as I'm going to say it now. I realized that as I was driving away from her bedside to Lexington to do a musical, I realized that my love of musicals began with her, because Alexis and I would go over to her house, and after playing wiffle ball in the front yard, or jewelry store, or doctor, or dress up, or beauty parlor, or any of darts, or any of the other countless games that we would play, Yiayia would darken her living room. She would make us homemade popcorn, which was, to this day, the best thing that I've ever had in my life. Just the saltiest, butteriest, best food. And we would watch one of the classics. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen Fiddler, or The King and I, or My Fair Lady, or The Sound of Music, or South Pacific, or Brigadoon. When's the last time you heard of Brigadoon? Yiayia would always cry when they were leaving on Atevka, or when the Lutellan dies, or when Eliza would come back to Henry Higgins, or when the captain tells Maria that he loves her, and she would always pretend that it was something in her eye. And now I've been on stage since I was in kindergarten. I had my first big solo in the holiday extravaganza, whatever, in public school. And I realize now in my adult life that I was on stage for all the wrong reasons. I was on stage initially because I wanted the attention. I was a second daughter. Alexis was good at everything. And I wanted people to notice me and think that I was special. And 10 years of psychotherapy later, I'm better now. I'm on stage for the right reasons now. But in addition to the psychotherapy, it was really only in Yiayia's dark living room, watching her experience these great musicals in such an alive way, that I first started to understand the transformative power of theater. And it's because of Yiayia's passion for these shows that I originally fell in love with theater to begin with. Now, I don't have the voice for Rodgers and Hammerstein. I don't think those jerks have ever heard of altos in their lives. And I'm not an ingenue. But I'd like to think that the musicals that I book now, even the dark, contemporary, edgy stuff like Spring Awakening, Yiayia knows and understands that it was her love for musical theater that first awakened my love for it. And that is a debt that I will never be able to repay. She has given me my life. She has given me my livelihood. She has given me my career and my passion. How many 28-year-olds can say that they know what they're on this earth to do? And I know it because of my Yiayia. I know that she felt guilty for a lot of things in her life, and that makes me sad. I know also for me that she didn't always love me the way I wanted to be loved. You know, every time she told me that if I didn't clear my plate, I didn't love her enough. I just wanted to die, you know? But if I could praise her now for one of the things that she did best, it would be for sharing this part of herself with me, because she shared it so frequently and with so much joy that it made a lasting impact on me that I will never, never escape, no matter what I do with the rest of my life. It lights me up now inside just thinking about sharing those musicals with her, and it makes me so sad that we'll never be able to do that together again. By the way, I booked Spring Awakening while she was still with us. I think she passed away so she wouldn't have to see me in it. But just before I left to drive to Greenville for the kind of callback of all callbacks, I was so hungry for this role. I knew it was perfect for me. I'm aging out of it. Like, this is like the last year that I could conceivably play a 17-year-old. And I was like, this is my chance, you know. I confided my nerves to her, and I told her how much I wanted the show and how nervous I was about the song selection that they had picked for one of these characters, because it was just wailing on these really high notes that don't come easily to me. And she told me that I'd be great, and she knew that I'd book it. And I even sang her part of one of the songs. It was a really sad song, so I just like sang it smiling. And she didn't it's like she didn't hear the like meaning of the words, because she was smiling, and she even clapped for me. And this was, you know, when she was very tired a lot of the time, and she was on, you know, pretty hefty medication. She was still smiling as she was listening. Her eyes were sort of kind of opening and closing, and at the end of it, she clapped for me. And I booked it. I did. So the truly best part of it all for me is that she carried that love of theater and musicals into her wholehearted support of my career. She always wanted to hear about my auditions, no matter how dumb they were. I mean, when you audition for film, TV, commercial stuff, like, you do ridiculous things, like, I don't know, like mime